Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. Alright, exciting times in the world of Android and LG and different form factors. LG has finally come out and announced the LG Wing. And if you've been paying attention to it, you know that this has kind of been rumored to come out for a little while now, and about a week or two ago they said officially, September 14th, the big announcement day, but the LG Wing. What is it? Well, it looks just like this phone, the LG Velvet, except it has another screen on top of it that swivels out to the side for this new form factor that I think is really bold and I think is going to work. LG has approached this year differently. Gone are the days of the G series and the V series. The V60 was the last one. They came out with the Velvet, which is part of their new design and their new strategy to name devices kind of more like in line of what the device actually is or represents, as opposed to just continuing with the same old that clearly was not working. So, the LG Wing. Spec-wise, it's very nearly identical to the LG Velvet. It's got a 6.8-inch P OLED display on it, 1080p, 60 Hz refresh rate. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM though, which is nice. They bumped that up. And whenever you flip the screen out to the side, it has a smaller screen area. It's 3-point-something inches. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll have it posted here. But it's also a modified 1080p. Wireless charging, IP54 dust and water resistant, so it's not completely wireless and it's not completely waterproof. It does have wireless charging, quick charge 4.0, 4,000 milliamp battery, and a really nice camera setup. And what's cool about the camera setup, it's got 3 cameras on the back, the primary shooter and 2 wide-angle cameras. 2 wide-angle. The primary camera actually has image stabilization like a gimbal. It has some sort of a gimbal stabilization. It's really cool, and you can actually kind of move it around a little bit like a gimbal. There were some really cool demonstrations on the video inside the announcement. So lots of cool things going on. I don't know what the price point is going to be, but I think pretty much the general consensus is it's probably going to be under $1,000. And I think it's going to do well. LG, I think, has finally kind of figured things out a little bit. And of course, it's got 5G as well. It's going to be run by the Snapdragon 765G, which is the same as this. See, LG, I think, realized that they were not winning the game with Samsung. They weren't winning the game against Apple. They weren't winning the game against OnePlus. They just kind of started going down and down and down a little bit further each year. And they still made respectable devices that I liked. Like, I loved the LG G7. I loved the LG G8. I loved the V60. Very good phones. But even now, with the LG Wing, it's very frustrating because as soon as LG announces anything, it doesn't matter what they make. There is negative all over the place. If you looked out on Twitter today, there was a handful of people that are like, hooray, this looks great, this looks amazing, this is going to do good, I can't wait to get my hands on one. And then you have almost an equal amount of people, what's the point? Why did they make this? Oh my gosh, LG, I don't even see the point in this, blah, 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 blah. You're probably just as irritated with it as I am at this point. It's very frustrating because I think that it's going to be fine. The underlying hardware is good. It's already got very good reviews for the LG Velvet. So now having a screen that pivots and gives you a full landscape screen up top with the rest of the portrait mode down on the bottom has a lot of implications. So if you want to shoot video, it's great because you can hold the phone like this. You don't have to go like this all the time. You can hold it like this. You've got that full camera. It's got a pop-up selfie camera too, which is nice. And if you accidentally drop it, it automatically retracts back into the phone. So you're covered there. But you get to hold it like this. So you've got the screen up top. You can hold it. You can do your texting. You can do your typing on the bottom. You have an uninterrupted view of what's going on. So if you want to use it for a camera, if you want to record, if you want to play games, if you want to do social media, if you want to watch a movie, you get all that unimpeded up top. Or if you want, you can have it slide out to the side. There are different configurations they showed off where it shows the phone being held, but the phone is swiveled to the side, so you continue to get your GPS, so you're not getting interrupted if you get a phone call. Or if you're using your phone, you're not going to get interrupted because it pops up down on the bottom and not on the top. So there's a lot of different ways I think you can imagine using it. I really like the idea of being able to respond to YouTube comments where I can be watching something and then still be able to type at the same time. Or like if I'm watching a live stream. I like to watch live streams sometimes and I want to be able to talk, I want to communicate, but it's kind of a pain in the rear end because you've got everything condensed into the upper half of the screen. So now you can have that full immersive 19:5:9 aspect ratio to watch your video sideways in cinematic mode and still be able to type in the comments. So for people who think that it's dumb or it's gimmicky, I think it's very functional. And you can look at other things. You can look at the Z Flip. Okay, it folds up. Cool. You can look at the Motorola Razr. It folds up and open. And you get something that still at the end of the day looks like this. If you go with the Microsoft Surface Duo, it's very functional because you open it up, ta-da, you get two screens. Very much like the LG G50, the LG Velvet, and the LG V60. So there's lots of different unique form factors that are out. Of course, even the Z Fold. It opens up and it goes from basically phone mode to tablet mode. This right here, if you can imagine, and you see here with the film footage, with the way that the wing is designed to work, I think that it's going to bring a lot to the table for a lot of people, and I think that LG's finally on the right track. See, everybody can keep making phones, but they're able to make multiple different phones with the same platform, essentially. So you've got the LG Velvet, which looks exactly like the wing, and then the wing, the screen pivots out to the side. So they've got the same processor, they've basically got the same battery, the same memory, the same everything, so they can kind of reduplicate the same hardware into different form factors that gives us a different experience. So I think that they're on the right track. I think that this is a really good way for them to make a splash. And I gotta tell you, I've watched several launch events this year. I watched the Samsung ones. The first one, the Unpacked event with the Note series phones, cringy, and the iPhone stuff is coming up. We haven't seen it yet. But then you also look at some other devices that are out there, some other events, like the OnePlus, and it was a pretty good event. This one right here, this LG event, spot on. They got YouTubers in there, and they got content creators to show how to use the phone, why it's important, ways that it's cool and it can be used. And it was entertaining. I mean, it was like real world examples of how to use it to do different things, what you can do with it, and why it's cool. So I think that they nailed it with the presentation. I think that they're finally going to nail it with the price point. It looks like the software experience is probably going to be very complimentary and allow you to do things on the phone that you wouldn't normally be able to do with just one single screen. So I like that. I like that there's a pathway forward to functionality. I like that they've thought about this and not just said, hey, we're going to try and keep doing the same thing. Yeah, doing the same thing and keep failing at it over and over and over is a terrible strategy. But if you find something that works, that you can use and make it unique and make it to where people are interested in it, and it gives them a benefit. It gives them something extra that they can do with their phone. It keeps you engaged, but not just, it doesn't disrupt the flow or the experience. I think that they're on to something. So, of course, I'll reserve my final judgment till I can finally get my hands on one and use it. I don't think that it's a terrible idea. I think it's a good idea, and I'm excited about it. And I think it's finally going to be something that's going to turn people's heads when you go into the store. And it's going to be available at carriers. You're going to be able to get it at Verizon first. Then it's going to be available at some point in time with T-Mobile and AT&T. But in the past, when you go into a carrier store and they've got the LG display off in the back or off in the corner somewhere because it's not Samsung and it's not iPhone, it's like people go over there and they go, oh, well, this one's cheaper and it kind of has some nice things in it, so I'll go ahead and get it. This right here, I think, is going to be attractive. I think it's going to be eye-catching, appealing, and it's going to offer a different experience that people are legitimately going to be interested in. So that's my impressions on the LG Wing. I think that it's got a solid foundation with the specs. I think it brings a lot to the table that people are going to appreciate, and I'm looking forward to getting my hands on one. So that's all I've got in the video, guys. I just wanted to tell you all about it, give you my thoughts and impressions on it, and let you know, hey, it's on the way. We don't know when it's coming out yet, but we do know it's going to be available on different carriers, and I'm excited. So that's all I've got. If you've got any questions or comments, if you're also excited about it and want to talk about it, feel free to throw that down in the comments section as well. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.